A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm humbled and honored to stand in front of you. The Mayfair Lagoon and Convention Center has a special place in my heart. It was more than 25 years back when I first visited this place for the AICOG in 2002. And the conference was in another hotel, Swastika. And it was by mistake I got a room in Mayfair. And not knowing that Mayfair is such a grand place, I came with a little reluctance. And when I saw this hotel, I fell in love with it. And every time I come to this place, I think it never fails to impress me. So I'm so honored that I'm getting installed in this beautiful convention center. And I cannot thank Dr. Sujata Kar for organizing such a beautiful conference. Let me take you a little into the history of ISAR. The first national organization for fertility specialists was founded in 1991. So we are now in our 33rd year. The founder president, Dr. Ameet Patki, was a true visionary, and he set up not only ISAR but even IAG and various other special organizations. We now have 29 state chapters, over 6,000 members, looking after 20 million infertile couples from India and the neighboring countries. I'm honored to be installed as the 15th president, and I know that ISAR members have been high achievers in terms of practice, academics, professional statesmanship, and social work. ISAR has always believed, and it's a tradition in ISAR, to make a difference to our members, to make a difference to the couples that we care for and we look after. Dr. Nandita Palshetkar, she is my predecessor, and I could not have a better person to hand over the reins to me. She has been very, very forthcoming, understanding, and has always taken my suggestions in the right spirit. We have debated, we have fought, we have laughed, and I thank you, Nandita, for being such a good president. And I think we need to give her a hand of applause to Nandita and Sujata for this wonderful conference. And this is something that I won't forget for many years. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulder of giants. And I bow to my past presidents who have been a source of inspiration. And I'm really touched that most of them are here. Dr. Sadhna Desai, Dr. Durusha, Dr. Manish Bankar, Dr. Rishikesh Pai, Dr. Kamini Rao, Dr. Reshma, Dr. Dheeraj Gada. And I hope to look and learn more from you. My teachers, my mentors from my undergraduate, my postgraduate days in India and in the UK, who have virtually held my hand and taught me the art and science of OBGY and then infertility. My life coach, my soulmates, Patrick, Pran, Nozer, Rohit, who has taken the effort to fly down only for a day, Nandita and Rishi, Suchitra, whom I know for the last 30 years and has always guided me. Thank you, Suchitra, and Neeta. And I think the trio of Suchitra, Neeta, and myself is very hard to break. My besties, my Super 6 group, Simi and Jesse, these are from my undergraduate. My Popat and Macau group, Raju Joshi, Dr. Sunita, Dr. Rani, the RCOG president, Dr. Shanta Kumari, Dr. Uday, and Dr. Parag. We have shared such wonderful times with each other. And I remember, if if Uday is around, that we had a wonderful time in Mayfair in 2002. So much we enjoyed it that we didn't go to the conference the next 2 days. Dinesh and Anuja, thank you for being here. Dinesh has been with me from my kindergarten days and he's flown down from the US with his wife, but to be for my installation. Sarita, Anaita, Vanita, Reshma, Bhaskar and Sita. Sita, thank you very much. I know you have taken the effort to be here, not even for 12 hours. Priya and her family and her friends who have come all the way from Copenhagen. Jaideep and Pradeep. Pradeep has not come for his wife's handover, but Pradeep told me, I've come for your installation. So thank you very much, Pradeep. And these are what friends are. My pillars, my support systems. They all came as fresh postgraduates to work with me, and I can only proudly say that they have such fantastic knowledge and they've bettered me in their practice. So these are the people on whom I used to leave my center and do all these activities because I knew they would look after my patients and look after them well. So thank you very much, and most of them are here. And I'm so grateful that you all have been with me through the thick and thin of my career. The only thing constant in life is change. And I am very fortunate that Dr. Prakash Trivedi purchased the new premises, Dr. Nandita Palshetkar renovated, and I got it all on a platter. Dr. Madhuri Patil took the role of the priestess. She came down from Bangalore with all the stuff to conduct the puja, not trusting me and Nandita to know everything. She went and she brought the flowers also the night before because she said, I didn't know what you all would bring for the puja. So thank you, Madhuri, for letting us have a good and a better and a grand office. But I think I'm very lucky because even in our Mumbai society, I was very fortunate to get into the new office. So my theme for the year is empowering parenthood. Every journey matters, leaving no one behind. And I really mean that I think every couple in India has a journey, has a story, and I think we as ART specialists need to walk with them. If you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk far, walk together. And I present to you my team because I think this installation is not only for the president, it is for the team. I'm going to call them at the end of my talk, and I will then introduce them and maybe have a group photo. So we have the office bearers, the member clinicians, the member embryologist, and then the co-opted members. And I'm very proud to say that it was a very tough elections they fought. There were 26 applicants for only 6 posts. So it was a tough election. And in my heart and heart, I wanted all of them to win. But we had to choose only the top 6. But this also shows that ISAR is growing, ISAR is rocking, and people are having faith in ISAR and want to be part and work with ISAR. A group becomes a team when all members have the ability to direct individual accomplishments towards organizational objectives. So a goal without a plan is just a wish. So let me take you to the highlights for the next year or maybe for the next 2 years. So we start off with a conference, a regional conference, along with an annual Maharashtra ISAR conference in the most pious city of Shirdi, 14th, 15th, and 16th June. And this is going to be spearheaded by Prerna Shinde and ably assisted by Padmareka Jirge and Kedar Kanla. We thought a brilliant idea came from Manjunath Swami. from Bangalore, who said that instead of having state conferences, why don't we have a South regional conference? So the five South states, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana, will come together in Bangalore on the 19th, 20th, and 21st July to have a South India regional conference. I asked him, what is going to be your theme of the conference? And in his very imitable way, he said, Sir, only pure academics and nothing else. So that is what is going to be the theme for this conference, purely academics and nothing else. We then have a collaborative meeting with Aspire, a regional meeting 9 to the 11th of August at the JW Marriott, Pune. My two Aspire representatives are going to be in charge, and Sunita Tandulwarkar from Pune is going to spearhead this meeting along with Ashwini Kale as the organizing secretary. I'm also proud that we have a board member in Dr. Durusha for the Aspire, and she's going to be the patron for the conference. And we also have Aspire members here, and I'm so glad that we have got it in the second consecutive year, and hopefully after we prove ourselves, we should get the annual Aspire come to India. We then have the ISAR Embryology Conference, 31st August, 1st September. Dr. Charudat Joshi, Chairperson, Embryology, and Dr. Nirmal Basin, the organizing secretary, will do it in India's first planned city, Chandigarh. We then have a fusion, the first physical fusion, because during COVID we had an online fusion, a joint initiative with ESHRE, ISAR, and IFS, which is going to be spearheaded by Dr. Reshma Pai from the ISAR side, 13, 14, 15 September in the beautiful, majestic city of Jaipur. We then have the Yuva conference in Bihar, Patna, which is going to be done by Padma Shri Dr. Shanti Roy and ably assisted by Pragya Mishra as the organizing secretary, 26th and 27th October in Hotel Moria. And then we have our next annual conference, ISAR 2025, in the Nawabi city of Lucknow. This is going to be done by Dr. Meera Agniotri and Dr. Rajul Tyagi. Dr. Rajul is a very dynamic, enthusiastic, and she's already made the plans even before this conference has finished. We are going to have a small inauguration for the annual conference. So I invite all of you tomorrow at 1 p.m. at the Mayfair Lagoon and Convention Center. I always felt that ISAR lacked being on the social media, because that is what youngsters and young doctors and even patients look up to. So ISAR now goes social, and we have these young doctors who are going to help. The convener, Dr. Seema Pandey, is the librarian for ISAR, and she is going to be ably helped by Dr. Amay Purandare and Pratik Tambe. Rohan Palchetkar and Niharika will look after Insta, Facebook by Dr. Priyanka Roy and Parshuram, LinkedIn by Nishad and Saili, and Twitter, now called X, Keshav and Apurva. And the ISAR website is going to get completely revamped with lots of FAQs looked by Fessy Lewis, Anuradha Kar, Ritu Hinduja, and Anu Agarwal. We are going to continue some of the very popular programs from last year, and ISAR Dialogue is one which was eagerly looked up to, a monthly online magazine, every chapter contributing something every month. And this is going to be spearheaded by Dr. Sunita Tandulwarkar, and she is going to be helped by Rashmika Gandhi and Parshuram Gopinath. The ISAR Dispatch, which comes every 1st and 15th on your mobile, precisely at 6 a.m. in the morning, a brainchild of Dr. Sujata Kar, is going to continue because she looks up at the various journals and comes up with something very interesting that happens in the world in the last fortnight. The ISAR Journal Global Club is going to be started as an online once every 2 months. Our journal editors, Dr. Padmarekha Jirge, and our newly installed editor, Mohan Kamath, are fantastic, true academicians, and they will be the conveners, and Dr. Sujata Kar will be the coordinator. ISAR Perfection series was a perfect series that was online, and it is going to be continued by Dr. Monica and Dr. Randir and helped by Pratik and Fessy Lewis. ISAR Express is a quarterly magazine that we all look up to, comes up with lots of interesting articles, controversies, debates, and good write-ups, and this is going to start maybe in a little different fashion. The ISAR Soloquy series. Now, I didn't know what it meant till I looked up in the dictionary, and it is a monologue. We often have meetings where we have too many speakers, too less time, no interactive discussion. So this is going to be a 1 hour monologue by an expert, by a KOL, who will speak on the topic of his interest, his passion, and this is going to be the brainchild of Ritu Hinduja, ably assisted by Kalyani, Sheetal, and Erika Patel. Never tell people how to do things. Tell them what to do, and they will surprise you with their ingenuity. We have seen Dr. Nandita doing a lot for the youth, and I'm going to take it one step forward. We are proposing a ISAR Youth Council in ISAR, and it's going to be called the Project Glass Door. Because this is a door where you can look into and see what your seniors are doing in the executive meetings, basically mentoring the juniors, empowering the future generation, train and create leaders of tomorrow, build a progeny, and ensure that ISAR is in strong hands in the future. We all know about I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, but if you are made to do, you understand it better. And that is what we will do. Have young ISARians be part of the Youth Council, and we will make sure that they learn the nitty-gritties of how to run a national organization. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, but the one most responsive to change. And the outreach programs in ISAR are basically meant for that. We have a large number of our ISAR doctors practicing in the remotest of India, having the most difficult cases to manage, but unfortunately are not able to come into the cities to update them. So we are going to take one step and go and reach them in these outreach programs. And I'm going to use our youth council members to go and present journal clubs. And I'm going to encourage every state chairperson and secretary to ensure that they hold program in their smaller cities. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. I present to you our national coordinators, which is going to be headed by Dr. Madhuri Patil. She's the perfect blend of academics and clinical practice. And then all these doctors are key opinion leaders and masters in their own field, be it endoscopy, be it embryology, be it in clinical practice. We are going to have 6 master classes. Each master class will be held only twice a year. The male infertility is called the how and why. The poor responders, rebooting treatment options, recurrent implantation failures, an enigma, PCOS, the quest continues. Troubleshooting in the laboratory, the QA and the QC, and ovulation induction, all what you need to know. Dr. Nandita has told us about our partnership activities with our international organizations. And I'm very happy to see that all of them today are represented here. The ASRM we have a special interest group, thanks to Dr. Rishikesh, who started it many, many years back. And we now are able to have workshops, roundtable, and luncheon meetings at the ASRM. The ESHRE, which holds the campus meeting in India every alternate years, and this will alternate with the Fusion conference. The IFFS, which gives us a session in their conference. The Aspire, as I said, having their regional meetings in India. And we also have our friends from the Upper Egypt ARS, and we are having a mutual sessions. Today, I'm very happy to introduce and let you know that ISAR is going international. We have set up the Bangladesh Special Interest Group, and this is with the blessings of Dr. T.A. Chowdhury as patron. Dr. Rashida Begum has come down here, and we have Dr. Maruf, who is going to be the chairperson, and we have a lot of young Bangladesh doctors who are already members of ISAR. I thought it is best that we get them together, give them a session in our conferences, and they readily agreed. We are now in talks with Nepal, Sri Lanka, the United Arab, and also possibly with the British fertility societies. Dr. Nandita spoke about collaborating with our sister organizations, the IFS. We have already signed MOUs on having sharing of academic sessions. But today we have proposed to them to have an ART registry, a joint ISAR IFS collaboration. I think it's extremely important for us as Indian doctors to know what is the practice and how much is the practice. None of us can stand up and say today what is the load that we are doing, because there is no data collection. So I'm very happy that IFS has very happily agreed to have a single point data collection, create a large database that we can share with the government. I also thought that having only academic sessions is not what we need. We need to have a little holistic growth of our members. So I'm very happy to tell you that we will be collaborating with IIM, Indian Institute of Management, for a 2-day residential course. And there will be 4 courses they will offer. The first one in reputation management in the new media, the era for embryologists and IVF specialists. The second program is on leadership and delegation management for fertility units. Third is practice management and communication science. And the fourth is something I think we all need, about strategy and finance management for IVF specialists. This will be a 2-day residential program, and I'm trying to get it absolutely free. The organizational activities, we have already dedicated cells for membership drive, the ART surrogacy law, and the medico-legal cell. Nandita has told us about the mission, vision, but I plan to get out a brochure explaining our strategic plans, projecting ISAR's objectives and activities, which we all can proudly hand over when we go to other meetings, conferences, government organizations, because they need to know what ISAR does, and have advocacy flip cards for reproductive health and rights issues. We only have what we give, and I think ISAR does a lot of CSR activities. And here I must acknowledge Dr. Sadhna Desai, who with her endowment fund of over 1 crore rupees has set up such a huge fund from where we can help deserving and the needy couples to have subsidized ART treatment. and it is running extremely, extremely well. Dr. Rishikesh, when he came to see the new place, told me, such a huge place. You have moved from 300 square feet to over 1,200 square feet. And you are absolutely in the middle of the commercial area where there are lots of young people working in the midst. Why don't you start a free ISAR consultation for these couples? It will be very easy for them to come down, be in your office, and it will also help your young budding ISAR doctors to practice. So I think this is something that we are going to take. And we also are going to start an infertility support group where patients can interact, where patients can express their sorrow and also joy. If you can't be criticized for it, probably it was not remarkable. I know some of my projects may not go down very well, but I'm willing to take the criticism. And I think at the end of a year or perhaps 2 years, I hope you'll all be convinced that this was the way forward. So let me tell you, the buck ends here. And I take responsibility for my whole team, for what they do, and for perhaps what they did not do. I want to thank my team at home, at my workplace, my fertility associates, my family, my strength, my weakness. I'm so happy that my family is here, my sisters, my wife, their husbands, my 2 sons, my brother-in-law. I think it was a plane full that came today morning, and I'm so glad that all of them are here. But I miss the gentleman, my first and only hero, my dad. It's only been a year since he passed away, and I could not attend the last conference because of his sudden demise. He's been a source of inspiration, and he would have been overjoyed to see me here. Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. So as your president of ISAR, I need to give some advice to my juniors. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did. So throw off your bowlines, sail away from safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, and discover. I dedicate this lecture to my mom, who's come all the way from Mumbai. We are in a patriarchal society. She runs my family for me, and I thank her very much. My wife, who has been with me like a solid rock, and has always been like a rock, silent, taking the brunt, never complaining. So thank you, Anju. And my 2 sons, Yash and Akash. I hope Akash will reach sometime. He's just finished his exams, and he should be on the flight here to be with us. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It was a pleasure and an honor to be installed in front of you. And I thank you for all the responsibilities and the trust that you have entrusted on me. And I hope that you will not be disappointed at the end of my tenure. Thank you.